So, Andy Heller, happy anniversary to you and your wife. And he's going for a lovely dinner after this, so we have to let him speak. He is an author of two books, and The High Road, and one about how you can invest in real estate at really low prices. And he's going to be talking more about investment in property tomorrow. So make sure you are there to hear him, and he will be giving you some tips and advice for all of you who want to do real estate investing. So over to you, Andy, and today's going to talk from his book, The High Road, about marriage, couples, and relationships.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, and I really appreciate listening to your segment, Alexandria. So my book title, if you want to write this down, everybody, is Take the High Road, Divorce with Compassion for Yourself and Your Family. And I see a lot of you in the divorce space. I'll give you quickly my story and then give you some nuggets from the book. So, I'm a successful businessman and I've invested in real estate. I run an international freight forwarding company, and I had a challenge in divorce. And everybody has a different coping mechanism when they're stressed. For me, I write notes. When my mom was passing away in hospice, my notes became an article that picked up by five newspapers in the United States in the Mother's Day after she passed away. So I'm going through my own divorce. I'm writing all these notes. And I also don't sleep a lot when I'm stressed. So I read a lot of other books on divorce. And the books were really good. But I noticed what I felt was a gap in the divorce book space. You had a book about from a divorce attorney about negotiations, a book about a specific part of divorce, what to do with the family home, a book from a therapist on how to explain divorce to your kids. So I read a lot of these books, and most people are not like me, and they might read one book. They don't have the time to read all these niche books. And the other problem with these niche books were, I'm saying problem is the wrong word. The other factor of these other books is that they were from a very unique perspective. There's a perspective of a divorce attorney. There's perspective of a therapist, a perspective of a mediator. So as I went through my own divorce, something happened. I'm a very compromise oriented guy. I wasn't out to hurt my ex. And I did enlist the benefit of a therapist. I heard about therapy in the early session. I'm a big believer in it. Even though I'm a together guy, I wanted somebody to help me who kind of was grounded. So something happened with my ex. I knew what I was going to do. But before I committed to what I was going to do, I had an appointment with my therapist. So I walked in, I said, this is what happened, but don't worry, I've thought it through, and this is what I'm going to do. And she went into her, therapy speak. Well, Andy, I'm glad you really think about that. It's good that you thought it through, but you're not going to do what you intend. You're going to do the opposite. And I was like, but. As soon as I shut my mouth and heard somebody say something wise today that you've got two ears and one mouth for a reason. So I listened. And everybody, it was amazing. After I stopped pushing back on her, I realized I was 100% wrong with what I intend to do. She was right. And even though I'm a compromise oriented, fair guy, not out to hurt my ex, something I realized at that moment was how emotionally compromised I was and not able to make the best decisions. And then I went back home. I looked at my notes. I'm like, oh my God, I got an outline here for a divorce book that fills a niche in a divorce book space. And that's what became the impetus for my book. I started 7 years of research. I interviewed all these field experts, people like some of you here, because I'm not the expert. I'm just a guy who went through a divorce. I interviewed experts and I took their guidance, and my book is like best described as a business plan for getting through an effective divorce without screwing up your kids, and what to do in the 5, 10, or even 15 years after when you have to co-parent effectively with somebody you couldn't live with. And so I launched my book, and if you go online onto Amazon, you'll see it's being really critically reviewed. And it's a different book. It's a book by a businessman that, and the structure that I did was I took 46 different situations, of which we divorcees are likely to find ourselves in about 2/3 of them. We talk about the situation. We describe what the experts suggest is the right thing to do. And then we have a takeaway tip at the end to make it simple. So for the divorcee who has only 2 or 3 hours, hopefully my book gives everything in a one stop shop all there on what to do. So I'll give you a quick story. I know we're limited on time here, Elizabeth. You tell me when I need to stop.
Well, it's
Um,
you who has to go to the dinner, not me.
well, I'm on the West Coast,
Yeah.
so I'm good on time. You cut me off when you want me to, but I'll give you guys a great story from the book. Actually, two good stories, two examples of the tips. So, probably the most complained about issue once you are divorced is communication,
Yes.
and the inability to communicate effectively, and the losers are your children. So I've got chapters dealing with communication, and I'll give you some of the tips that I put in there that you don't find in other books. So one example is, so Andrea and I, you and I we're married, and we have this contentious divorce, and you know exactly how to pull my which buttons to push to piss me off, and the problem is, one of the problems when you're getting divorced is, particularly those first few years, you need your sleep to function effectively. But these emails and texts from your ex, they trigger you. So let's say, Alexandria, you send me these texts and or emails, and it's a trigger an email. So one of the advices I give in the book is, other than logistics that you have to read right away, like if, do you got to pick up Susie from school? You can't wait on that. But your typical co-parenting emails and texts, answer everything in the morning. Why? Because let's say, Alexandria, you sent me an email that you know is going to get under my skin. Well, if I read that email at noon, I got another 9, 10, 11 hours to calm down, get focused on something else going on during the day, and forget about that trigger and email, so I can get a good night's sleep. So little things such as the time you read emails, the time you read and answer texts, this can really help you reduce your stress and allow you to be a better parent, and allow you to be to have less stress in your life. Another great example. So
No,
I'm,
no
I'm
more
gonna pick
examples.
I'm gonna
We got.
pick.
I have
Pardon?
no more examples. Tomorrow we will bring Andy back because
Okay.
tomorrow he's doing part two, and we'll wait for that example tomorrow. But thank you so much, Andy. That was great. Make sure that you put in the chat the name of your book. Everybody, please get his book. It is really second to one. Richard and I have been talking a lot about divorce and separation, and here we have a great book to help you. And I'm actually reading it, very therapeutic. And make sure if you buy his book that you write a review. All right. So thank you, Andy, for being on our show. You have been discovered on Brightside. And tomorrow we'll see you. We'll be having you see more of you. But
My
thank you so
pleasure. Thank
much.
you.